Greetings, YouTube. I used to be a major comic geek back in the 80s and the 90s when I had large quantities of disposable income. Now, not so much. But during the heyday of my buying, I found Watchmen, and I bought the issues every month as they came out, and I completely fell in love with the story. I was born in 1964, so I was a child of the Cold War. So Watchmen resonated with me. It really struck a chord. The world they showed, while an alternative to ours, felt real. The artwork had depth to it that I believed. And the idea that someone, anyone, was going to do something about potential nuclear war, rather than use it for political or financial advantage, was attractive. I mean, Ozymandias may have been a madman, but at least he did something. At least he made an effort to change things. And so instead of billions of people dying, millions did. I'm not condoning his actions. He was an immoral bastard. But at least he solved the problem. So I went to see Watchmen Saturday with my wife. And I have to say, I thought it was brilliant. It's not the graphic novel. It can't be the graphic novel. But complaining that the film is not the graphic novel is a bit like complaining that apple pie doesn't taste like Stairway to Heaven. There isn't a comparison. They are two separate things, and they have to be taken on their own merits. But the film was a visual feast, and I was absolutely floored by the soundtrack. I don't buy soundtracks, and I really feel I have to own that soundtrack. Every song just seemed to fit each scene perfectly. Yes, there were some cheesy songs, but they fit the mood, the moment. It was, after all, a film based on a comic book. I thought the acting was excellent as well. I heard reviews that they said the acting was stilted, that they felt that some of the actors looked like they were reading their dialogue off of cue cards. But some of the characters were supposed to be distant, cool, not necessarily emotively engaged in the world around them. And I feel that the actors pulled that off. I was hesitant at first for the actor that was playing the comedian, because I had seen a few stills, but hadn't really seen any clips. And I was pleasantly surprised. He really did seem to fit the role well, even if he wasn't Robert Downey Jr. And the actor that played Rorschach was wonderful. He made me believe that character. My wife complained about the raspy voice a bit, but I think it suited the character. It never seemed out of place, unlike Christian Bale's raspy voice in the last Batman movie, which jarred me out of every scene when he used it. I mean, it wasn't perfect. The one sex scene that was in the film was far too long. We really didn't need the level of detail they showed. I wasn't bothered at all by the fact that Dr. Manhattan was naked in a number of scenes, and in fact I found it kind of amusing that there were far more scenes with a naked blue man than there were with any naked women. And the final scene, and I apologize for the spoilers, really didn't explain why one of the characters had a gun. I mean, it just came out of nowhere. In the comic, it's explained. It's part of the context of the story. But they cut the scene, or never filmed the scene, so the continuity was broken. But all in all, I had a great time. I'd easily give it an 8 out of 10. And I recommend it to anyone who enjoys superhero films or just good action films. Definitely an excellent way to spend an afternoon. Have a good one.